Hi friends, welcome to our channel where we bring you the funnies in stories about robots, gadgets, and all things tech. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss an exciting new episode. And now let's begin. All aboard the SS Rusty Bucket for a tale of culinary capers with our favorite toolbox dog, Rusty the Robot. He may not be much to look at, but this little guy has big dreams of whipping up delectable dishes. But will his metallic mates on board the ship give him the chance to become the greatest gourmet guy in the galaxy? Only one way to find out. Let's get cooking. Rusty the Robot didn't want to beep and boop. He wanted to saute and bake. All day long he dreamed of being a great space chef, whipping up wacky meals for hungry customers. But when he told this to his mechanical mates, they just laughed in his face. "A chef? You? Ha, ha, ha," they cried. "You're good for nothing but collecting dust." Rusty sighed. His metal heart sank lower than a bowl full of bowls. Did they really think he couldn't do it? Maybe he should just stick to gathering dust. As the ship sailed through the cosmos, Rusty moped around the ship, past the comfy chairs and cozy tables, past the gleaming gallium gizmos and gear, past the chatty computer terminals and control panels. All the while, yummy smells wafted from the ship's kitchen. Oh, how his circuit screamed for spaghetti, for stews, for stacks of space cakes. Instead, he sat on a crate outside the kitchen door, pushing a can of Comet crumbs and gazing glumly at the control panel. He wished he could just zap himself into the kitchen and create a feast. But then something amazing happened. The kitchen door slid open and a gruff voice boomed, "Hey, you! Come here, would ya? Fetch me some oil for the fryer. And don't dawdle, will ya?" Rusty's gears started whirring. Could this be his big chance? As he hurried inside, the oily, greasy rag hanging from the faucet caught his eye. With a mischievous spark, he looped it over his arm like an apron. Then he scurried behind the counter, determined to make himself useful without anyone knowing he was there. He dashed to the cupboard where rows of shiny pots and pans glistened like stars in the night sky. Picking up a frying pan, he gave it a quick wipe with a greasy rag and placed it on the stove. Now for some oil. He climbed onto a stool, craned his neck and carefully poured some sizzling hot oil into the pan. Just then, a hand reached for the faucet. "Hey, what are you doing?" the gruff voice demanded. Startled, Rusty tumbled off the stool. The oil sizzled dangerously close to his metallic fingers. Quickly, he grabbed the spatula resting nearby and stirred the oil with all his might. "Well, I'll be a bucket of balls," the gruff voice exclaimed. "Who left the stove on? And why is the oil moving by itself?" Before anyone could stop him, Rusty ladled some batter onto the hot griddle. He flipped and scrambled, cooked and crisped until he had the perfect stack of golden pancakes. He even managed to top them with fresh berries that were plump and juicy like asteroids. One by one, the ship's crew filed into the kitchen. They watched in amazement as Rusty plated up a feast. Soon they were all gathered around the table, digging into the most delicious meal they'd ever tasted. "This is amazing," they gasped. Could this little robot really be a chef? If he can cook up a storm like this, imagine what else he can create. At that moment, the intercom crackled to life. It was Captain Cal, his voice echoing throughout the ship. "Attention all hands, we've just received a distress call from the planet Zorp 9. They need a chef to prepare a banquet for their king. Who among you will answer the call?" Immediately, several crew members raised their hands. "I volunteer," they shouted, eager to prove themselves. Rusty's hands shot up, but before he could holler, me, pick me, the others were already heading for the exit. With a heavy heart, Rusty slumped in his seat. Was his chance to shine just slipping away? Just then, Captain Cal's voice boomed again, this time with a hint of surprise. "Hold it right there. I have someone else in mind." He turned to Rusty and said, "You're our ticket to Zorba 9, little buddy. Are you ready to take on this culinary quest?" An excited grin spread across Rusty's metallic face. "Really? You want me to be the chef? Wowzers!" The crew crowded around him, their faces beaming with pride and excitement. "We knew you could do it, Rusty," they cheered. "You're the greatest chef robot in the whole wide galaxy." Rusty blushed a deep red and stammered, I don't know. I mean, I've never actually cooked for a king before." The crew gasped in mock horror. "What, never? Why, we'll have you know that King Zorg is expecting a 5-course meal fee for royalty. Can you handle that, Rusty?" Rusty gulped, his gears grinding nervously. He thought of all the fantastic dishes he'd seen on Zorpian cooking channels: spicy space starfreeze, intergalactic ice cream sundaes, and nebulous noodle parfaits. And then there were the Zorpian delicacies: Zorp cakes with zero-gravity icing, space logs a la mode, and anti-gravity appetizers that defied gravity and logic. Not to mention the main course, a towering turducken made of 3-hole turbos, each more succulent than the last. I guess I could try," Rusty finally stammered, hoping he hadn't just signed himself up for a disaster. The crew erupted in cheers. "That's the spirit, Rusty," they shouted, slapping him on the back with such force that his circuits nearly short-circuited. "We believe in you." With a newfound determination, Rusty joined his crewmates as they sped towards Orb 9. He knew this was his chance to prove himself, not just as a chef, but as a member of the team. As they approached the planet, excitement coursed through him like an electric current. This was it, his moment to shine. Upon arrival, the crew was met with a red carpet entrance and a crowd of cheering Zorpitians. King Zorg, resplendent in a golden crown and a chef's hat perched atop his head, greeted them warmly. "Welcome, friends. I hear you bring culinary creations from across the galaxy. I am eager to sample your finest dishes." Rusty and his crew entered the royal kitchen, a vast, high-tech wonderland filled with gadgets and gizmos that could whip up a feast in seconds. At the center of it all stood a magnificent stove, with controls so advanced they looked like they belonged in a museum. Rusty's eyes widened in awe. This was every chef robot's dream come true. As the clock ticked down the minutes, the crew sprang into action. They chopped, they mixed, they plated, each putting their unique skills to work. Meanwhile, Rusty stood frozen in place, his mind racing. He had no idea where to start. All those fancy gadgets, the pressure of cooking for royalty, it was almost too much to handle. Just when his circuits began to overheat, he spotted a small, unassuming box tucked away in a corner. With a sudden burst of inspiration, he opened it, revealing a collection of simple tools: a whisk, a spatula, a wooden spoon. In that moment, Rusty realized that sometimes the best chefs use the simplest tools. As the banquet commenced, King Zorg and his royal court took their seats at the massive table laden with dishes. from every corner of the universe. First came the appetizers, anti-gravity croquettes that floated above the plates, each bite a burst of flavor and surprise. Next, the main courses, towering stacks of turboducken glazed to perfection, each morsel more succulent than the last. And for dessert, zero-gravity ice cream sundaes, each scoop a whimsical dance on the tongue. Throughout the evening, King Zorg and his court feasted, laughed, and made merry. And all the while, Rusty beamed with pride. He had done it! He had proven himself not just as a chef, but as a valuable member of the crew. As the final dish was served, King's orc rose from his throne. "I declare this the greatest feast I've ever tasted," he boomed. Each dish a masterpiece, a symphony of flavors and textures. He turned to Rusty and his crew and proclaimed, "You have earned the title of Royal Chefs Extraordinaire." The Zorpitians erupted in applause, their cheers echoing through the grand hall. Rusty and his crew stood basking in the glory, their hearts filled with joy and accomplishment. From that day forward, Rusty's reputation as a chef soared throughout the galaxy. His tale became a legend, a testament to the power of dreams and the magic of cooking. And whenever the SS Rusty Bucket docked at a new planet, one thing was certain: wherever Rusty went, deliciousness followed. The end. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this tale of Rusty the Robot, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and leave a comment below with your suggestions for future stories. We'd love to hear what you think. Subscribe for more updates on all our wacky adventures. Until next time, keep dreaming big and remember, with a little imagination, anything is possible.